Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 2021-22 Heart of America Conference Men's Basketball Media Day. My name is Jason Lamb. I'm with KY3 Sports in Springfield, Missouri, and it's time to preview the Central Methodist Eagles under head coach Jeff Sherman in his 37th season. Coach, how are things going for you and the Eagles program these days?
Well, thank you, Jason, for having me, and we're excited to have basketball underway, and things are going pretty good here at Central Methodist. We're very fortunate.
Okay, well, let's just get started, I guess, by trying to learn a little bit more about your team. I was taking a quick look here, and I see that you say that this might possibly be the most talented team that you've ever had.
Yeah, it's kind of a bold statement. We've been lucky enough to have a lot of talented teams. I think the purpose for that statement was it doesn't necessarily mean it's the best team. You know, the talent potential that we have on our squad this year is really a lot of fun. And I say that based on it looks like we're young on paper. You know, I think we have something like 5 freshmen, 6 sophomores, you know, in our 14 roster. But, you know, college basketball is going to be so different this year with everyone keeping their eligibility. Yeah. So you have freshmen that are really not freshmen, sophomores that may have already been in school 3-4 years. But we do have experience, but we really have a lot of good length. We have a lot of players that are capable of playing multiple positions. And from a coaching standpoint, what you can do with a group of guys like that. It's most certainly the hardest working team I have ever had. I'm a coach that traditionally was going 3-hour practices, and we do not go over 2 hours. And I love it. Do not have to worry about the guys giving it everything they have, because they do that every single day. And I hope that continues. You know, you're going to have a little bit of success, you know, with that anyway, but we're a new team. We have a long ways to go getting to know each other, but we're very excited right now.
Okay. Well, tell us about some of the returning guys that you're going to be relying on the most.
Okay. Well, we return 2 all-conference players. One, Jonathan Brown. Jonathan's a sophomore, about a 6'4", can play anywhere from point to the 4 spots. So he can do a little bit of everything. He's an amazing athlete. We brought him in at semester last year, so he only got to play half a year, was still voted all conference. We struggled first semester last year, which was one of the reasons we brought him in. But I think he's one of the more talented players in the conference. He's out of London, so he's an international player. But he can do a little bit of everything. He's a good shooter, drives well, tremendous defensive player. And that's the other thing I will say about our team is we love defense. It might be a joke in the coaching community because I've not been known as a defensive coach. Okay. We love offense. We love pushing the ball. But these guys really take a lot of pride on defense. And Jonathan's really a JB is what we call him. He kind of leads that pack. The other all-conference returner is Fody Kamara, and he is a senior. He's actually the first grad student that I've had, but he decided to come back for that extra year, you know, that many seniors are enjoying. And Fody was, I think, second in the conference in rebounds last year. He was in the top 10 nationally. But he's a very good defender, really strong on the boards, averaged about 11 points a game. I think JB averaged about 13 to 14 for us last year. So our 2 top returners were those 2. And then we returned 3 other talented players that had starting experience. Trent Lyles will be a sophomore again. And he was a part-time starter along with Jaden McGrew, both from the point guard spots. And both of them are sophomores. Jaden's out of Texas. Trent's actually about an hour away from Sedalia, Missouri. And both are returning. Both are looking to play not only the same position, but are also capable of playing a few other positions as well. Then we have a couple of other returners on our team. Kirby Favorty, who is from out Alaska, was actually our MVP on our varsity reserve program last year. And then we have a Brandon Cook, who's a sophomore, 6'7", out of Evening Shade, Arkansas, that are returning for us. And so with that, that leaves the rest of the group as a new group, which is going to be the challenge right now of getting this large group united, playing like it's a veteran team, because you're going to find out we have a lot of good veteran teams this year.
Oh, for sure. And it does look like you have quite a few newcomers.
So with our new coming class, we knew it was going to be a big recruiting year for us. And I think we had about as good a recruiting year as anybody in our league, but that only is based on we needed to have one with the players that we lost. I think to top the list is unusual. We have a senior coming in, Tim Cameron. He's out of Georgia, transferred from Loyola University, where he was honorable mention All-American in 19 and 20. So he's played on a very good NAI program. He played actually Division I for UTEP and also High Point University. So he's gotten Division I experience. But he's going to be about a 6'4" point guard. I don't usually, or most of us don't get the luxury of having a 6'4" point guard. That's one of the strongest athletes on the floor. He loves up tempo. He's a tenacious defender, as he set an assist record at Loyola, but also was a leader in steals. So here we are. We have a guy that has a lot of experience, a very talented individual that's going to come in and play a senior year for us. And then we have a mixture of a lot of very good players, I think, from different backgrounds. We have Jackson Andrews out of St. Louis. He played the last 2 years at North Central Missouri College in Trenton, Missouri. And he was one of the top 3-point shooters for NJCAA Division II. He's about a 45% 3-point shooter. So we love his ability to shoot, and he shoots it deep. And we love to shoot the 3-point shot, as many teams do. And that was a weakness of our team last year. So he was, we hit him pretty early in the recruiting process, and he's really playing well for us right now. We have another individual, Isaiah May, who's about 6'5", and he's another player that can play 2, 3, 4, and 5. He's out of Lakeland in Illinois, extremely talented player, probably our most consistent player in our preseason practices. Shoots it well from outside, but just really gets after the defense. He's also a 4.0 student. So I think that translates both on and off the court. He brings everything every day, and the way his classes are going, that's just the way he is. And we're so fortunate that he's with us at Central Methodist. We have another gentleman that we brought in from London, was a teammate of Jonathan Brown's, but that's Thomas Sowolu. I'm still learning names, but we call him a bunch of things. He's a big old boy. He's 6'8". I think we list him at 245. That's probably pretty accurate now, because he's been very active, and he's, again, he's a transfer from Oklahoma Baptist, so he got a little bit of Division II experience, but he's left-handed. He's a true back-to-the-basket player, but I think he's on the floor more than anybody that we have on our team, which says a lot about him being a big man. It's awful. You don't get up as quick when you're the big man, but he's just all over the place, and we couldn't be more pleased with having him. The big thing that's changed, though, Jason, is, I guess I should have mentioned this from the start. Tom came in as a backup. We were going to need a good backup, and we didn't have a true center position last year. And we started off the year having, in my opinion, one of the best, and that was Rain Hartman out of South Africa. Now, the deal with Rain was he couldn't play with us last year. South Africa was not letting anybody come to the United States with COVID. He missed the entire year. We get him back here this year to play his senior year. Second practice, he tears his Achilles.
Oh,
Out for the year, and really his career being a senior.
yeah.
When he was his junior year, he was the third leading shot blocker in the nation. He was an all-conference player for us. So we started off the preseason losing, in my opinion, one of the strongest centers that our conference would have had.
Oh.
So now I say that, but as a team, we did not get on any kind of a rhythm. So we moved on. You have to move on. And so it really hasn't changed anything that we have been doing, but we had to change directions pretty quick. When you have two good postmen, now you're down to one. And so when I say that we have players that play multiple positions, we're going to have a number of players that have to play that 5 spot for us that normally will not be used to it, but they're capable of it. So other players that we have that are coming in, we have a player that we really liked a couple of years ago. He chose to go to Cumberland University, and now we have him coming here this year, and that's Dwayne McClendon. He had an amazing junior college career in California. He was averaging 16 points a game. Things just didn't work out at Cumberland. He left its semester last year, and fortunately, when I got a hold of him, boom, he said yes. And so that was one of our easy sells, but he was really someone we targeted early last year. And he's another player that can play the 2, 3, and the 4. He's 6'5". You'll see we have a lot of players that are 6'5" on our roster and that are going to be capable of playing all these different positions. And he's just a good scorer. He's a hard worker. So we add him to our roster. And then we have a number of freshmen. We have 2 all-state players from Missouri. The one that's just locally here in Boonville, and that's Charlie Bronowski. And Charlie averaged 23, 24 points a game for us. He's 6'6", 225, and he's just solid. He did not play inside in high school, so he's not necessarily used to playing back the basket, but he will be playing some of our 5, but he's also a very good 3-point shooter. So you have somebody that's going to be strong, physical, can play inside and outside, and we have him for 4 years. But he was one of the top, he was definitely one of the top players in Missouri this last year. And then we have a young man that I think is going to be a local favorite, a fan favorite, only because he's probably the smallest on our team. And that's Blake Fowler. He's way down in the Boot Hill, Campbell High School. They were state champions last year.
Okay.
He averaged 25 points a game. He's exciting. He's gets the ball up and down the court. He's a tremendous outside shooter. He's still obviously, with his size on our team this year, he's struggling a little bit. He gets up, he scraps for everything. He's a great teammate, but he's going to be an exciting player to watch in the upcoming years. So there's a quick look into not only the makings of what our squad is, but all of a sudden, then a week before school starts, we get a lead on a player, Michael Perez, who was leaving Tyler Junior College, who's out of Spain.
Okay.
And he's another 6'5" player, tremendous athlete, player that can play 2, 3, 4 for us, and another freshman. He actually got a chance to play a lot for a very good junior college team. And so we inherited him right about the time school was starting, or school had just started. So we have a young team on paper, but I am so excited about what they're bringing during our early practices. But the bottom line is we like to brag that we're undefeated, right now, but we haven't won any ball games. We have a long ways to go. But I know as a coaching staff, we sure have enjoyed these players right now.
Sounds like a great group. And then I see on your bench, you have an associate head coach that you're very familiar with.
Yeah, and that's special. There's no question about it. I can say that, being a coach for a number of years, Things go by fast. I've been so blessed to have so many good people that has worked for me over the years, and they've gone on and done very well, even in the college ranks, high school ranks. But having your own son, who also played for me, was a two-time All-American, and he got a chance to go on and coach at a couple places, even in our conference. He was an assistant coach at Graceland for a year. He was down at William Jewell for a couple years under legendary coach Larry Holly. So when we had a position open up, I talked to him about it and see if he was interested, because let's face it, he grew up here in Fayette. I didn't know if he'd be interested, and everything's worked out tremendously right now. This would be like, I believe it's his 7th year he's been here, and let's face it, he calls a lot of the shots.
Okay.
There's no question about that. He does let me walk up and down the sidelines like I'm important. But he's sitting there with his clipboard, keeping me on track of things that we need to be doing. So no, we also have a new assistant coach this year, a veteran assistant coach, Mark Mueller. Now, Mark was with me for a year back in 2009 and 10 when we had won the conference and made the national tournament. But he was also with Columbia College for about 11 years as associate head coach there at Columbia College. And he's been out of coaching for a while. And this year we brought him back as an assistant coach, and he just has loads of experience. And so I have a couple of other good graduate assistants. Trent Short, who just finished his playing career at Mobile University, was one of the best 3-point shooters out at Mobile, and talked him to coming in and being a graduate assistant for us this year. And then we have a varsity reserve and freshman coach, Brent Shuck, who's played a number of years professionally overseas. So I'm fortunate. Maybe I have to have a good coaching staff to make up for a lot of my weaknesses. But no, we're pretty excited here.
Well, thank you so much, Head Coach Jeff Sherman from Central Methodist. And thanks for previewing your Eagles for us this morning. And we wish you the best of luck this season in the Heart America Conference.
You betcha. Thank you, Jason. Appreciate you doing this.
No problem.